Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey everyone, checking in on commodities. We'll look at the dollar, gold, miners, oil, and natural gas. So essentially the dollar, I'm going to call that a double top, 98.33, and we did break it by 4 pennies into a hard rejection. So just the fact that we've gotten that much pullback after breaking resistance, I call that a double top because it's a difference of point however many percent, an insignificant number. And now what we're looking at is a tightening range on the weekly time frame. So we have the high, our higher low, keeping the weekly uptrend intact, now a double top. The bulls must hold 97.03 because if we lose that level, we'll lose the weekly uptrend for the first time in a few months. At this point, for the recovery, the bulls are going to have to see a more clear break of 98.37 and really try and make their way up to the mid $98 range. But as of right now, essentially, they're just trying to hold this weekly support. With that, gold has seen a nice bounce from this 1266 range. We've established support in the 1260s, and now we're looking up at 1303. And that is the resistance level because that is our weekly lower high. Looking at it on the weekly time frame, if the bulls are going to change this trend, we have to break 1303. At this point, we're going to anticipate the daily time frame is likely going to form an equilibrium. From our high to our low, we had a significant amount of space, over $33, $34. We're looking for a lower high to be set on the daily chart compared to 1303, and then a pullback and a higher low. I anticipate that the miners and gold are going to become a bit boring in the next 2 weeks, let's say. When we lose the 4-hour uptrend, our daily lower high will be established. Our last 4-hour higher low, trying to form it right now, down at 12 in the 1284s, but need a little bit more follow through to be confident that that is our higher low. Right now, 1280.66 is the most important short-term level for me. So essentially, if I were not in a position at this point, I would be patiently waiting, and I am not in a position. I'm waiting on the monthly time frames for gold, the dollar, and these miners, and that's not going to happen anytime soon, but I've got plenty of other things to trade. But if you are looking to trade gold and the miners and you are not in a position, this is not the point to establish a position because we're right in the middle of a wide range. If I were doing anything, I'd be looking for a bearish entry on gold in the 1290, low 1290 range and looking for that daily lower high to be set. Otherwise, I just patiently wait for an anticipated daily tightening range to break sometime in early to mid-June. And we also have a lot of, or I should say a lack of clarity on these miners as well. Look how choppy this is. On the daily time frame between this range of essentially 21 resistance and 2027 support, we have a ton of trading and a ton of back and forth. Multiple tops, multiple bottoms, and just a lack of follow through. We go red, green, red. I mean, green bulls. Bulls are hardly able to put multiple green days together in a row. And essentially, I wouldn't be interested in GDX unless I'm either bottom fishing 2027 support and 2026 support, that double bottom, or just waiting for a break at 2102. Otherwise, this choppy action would have me sitting on my hands and patiently waiting for clarity. Looking at it on the weekly time frame, it can absolutely be a bear flag at this point, so I would remain cautious. GDXJ had a more clear bear break, and we've been saying this, I feel like, for 2 years at this point, where if you're looking bullish, you're playing the senior miners, and if you're looking bearish, you're playing the junior miners, and that's just because that's the general way that things have been playing out. The senior miners are holding on much better than the junior miners, so if I'm looking bearish, I want to be playing JDST, and if I'm looking bullish, I want to be playing NUGT as far as the leverage ETFs with those different names. So 2804 broke. We have clear daily lower highs. So a lower high at 29.48, a lower high at 29.35, a lower high now potentially forming at 28.62. It's just a much more clear downtrend than it is on GDX. So in this scenario, I have to see a clear daily trend change for me to be interested in GDXJ. But again, if I'm looking bullish on the miners, I'm looking at GDX and NUGT. I'm not looking at GDXJ. If I'm looking bearish, we already confirmed the weekly bear flag on GDXJ, and it wasn't even a bear flag. It was inside bar, bear break, and there's just a lack of any strength on these junior miners. So just to wrap it up in summary again, we're looking for the dollar to tighten things up on the weekly time frame. We're looking for gold to set a daily lower high, and we're looking for these miners to remain a little bit unclear until gold can give us some clarity on that daily time frame. And I would be scouting for a loss of the 4-hour uptrend on gold sometime in the next couple days to indicate a lower high in the low 1290s. Oil has seen a nice bounce, but it's a bear flag on the daily time frame at this point. We can't lose sight of that. And if we lose the 4-hour uptrend, the odds of the bear flag are going to increase significantly. So at this point, 58.13 is the most important support level for me, because if that breaks, the odds of the weekly bear flag and another leg down coming, or I should say the daily bear flag and another leg down coming, will increase a lot. If we can keep this 4-hour uptrend over the next few days and make our way back up over $60, that would be a great sign for the bulls. But keep in mind that $60 was clear key daily support, and it is now resistance. So previous support, potentially to act as resistance, we'll have to be watching that level as we approach it as well. Again, at this point, if you have not already entered the oil bounce, it's a bit late at this point, and I would either be scouting for a bearish entry or waiting for a better bull entry opportunity, but I don't like bullish at this point. I did flip oil multiple times on this pullback, but currently all cash, and at this point, I would have to see pull back towards key support to allow myself to establish a clear stop level that I would play based off of. Natural gas. So natural gas lost the daily uptrend, but has not confirmed the daily downtrend. To confirm the daily downtrend, we have to see a lower high and lower low, and at this point, we would have to break 2531 to follow through with that lower low. So we have the low, the high of the bounce is 2606, and if we fall back and break 2531, it will be a loss of the daily uptrend, and the odds that we are heading down to break weekly support would increase a good bit. At this point, the bulls are hoping a weekly higher low can form to change this weekly trend, and we would have to hold 2442 and break 2688 to change this weekly trend. That's not happening anytime soon. Right now, the bulls are just trying to prevent from a bear flag on this daily time frame and from confirmation of the bearish trend. So natural gas bears have the upper hand on the daily and weekly time frame, most notably the weekly time frame for quite a few months at this point. Oil, potential daily bear flag. If we lose the 4-hour uptrend, the odds of the daily bear flag will increase. $60 psychological resistance, and I'd have to see the bulls get over $60 to try and negate the daily bear flag possibility, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. We got the U.S. market back open again tomorrow after Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. Thanks to all you servicemen and women out there who have served or are currently serving. And again, keeping an eye out for gold to break a tightening daily range sometime in the next 2 weeks to wait for some more clarity on these miners. Hope you have a good weekend, a good Sunday, a good Monday night, and we'll see you in the near-term future.